So this video is going through the question that we did in yesterday's class. So this is mainly for people to revise with, or for those of you who were absent yesterday when we were finishing it off today. So the question shows an object here, and this is our plan view already set up, and our spectator point we seen from the question yesterday is 100 mil away at 60 degrees, and the height of the object is going to be 45 mil. So the first thing, as always when you're doing a perspective question, is you locate your angles that are the furthest out to the left and the furthest out to the right. So basically when you're standing there looking at the object, what's the furthest point you can see out to the right, what's the furthest point you can see out to the left. And then what we have is an angle in between, and we're going to bisect that to get our picture plane, which we know is touching off corner A there. So all this kind of information is given to you in a question. So to bisect the angle, we can take any distance in our compass from S and swing an arc. And from there, we can swing two more arcs. And where they cross over, that's going to give us our bisector. We're going to go perpendicular to that, so I'm going to use slide and set squares, or for you, you can use your adjustable. I'm going to slide it across there. And I'm going to get this line here, which is going to give me my picture plane. So PP there and there for the picture plane. After that then, we want to find the location of our vanishing points. And to do that, from S, we always go parallel to our sides. So you can see horizontal line there, horizontal line across there. That gives us the position of where VP1 would be. And then this side here is a vertical line, and that goes up to hit there, and that gives me VP2. Now from here, we would then turn our page, instead of using slide and set squares, we would turn our page then to make our picture plane parallel with our T-square. So I'm just going to pause the video here, and I'll resume when I have the page set up. So now I have a page set up, I'm ready to start drawing in where my ground line is going to be. So the ground line is always going to be parallel to the picture plane, and it can be any distance away from the spectator. So I'm just going to draw it around about here. And then we mark that GL for our ground line. In the question you'll then be told the height of the horizon line, and for us we're going to set that to be 70 mil away, and the horizon line is also going to be parallel to our ground line. Last thing then, we need to take down our vanishing points, where they're going to hit the horizon line. So vanishing point 1 goes down to there, and vanishing point 2 goes down to there. So everything that's going to go back in perspective is going to join to those 2 points. And now we have the question set up. So when we're finding all of our points, we join everything back to the spectator, and where they hit the picture plane, we take them straight down then into our perspective view below. So for example, corner A, the bottom corner of the object, that's already touching our picture plane. So even if we join it back, it won't make a difference. It's already touching off it. So therefore, we can just take A straight down to the ground. That's our point A, you could say there. And we can see then, 2 sides there and there, they're parallel with our vanishing points. One's going off to the left, the other's going off to the right. So we join them back. So our left side goes out to there, our right side goes out to there. I'm drawing it lightly for now, because now I'm going to work out how wide the object is. So then, for our right hand side here, to turn how far back it goes, this side here goes back to that corner. I've already joined it back to the spectator because I was working out my width, or sorry, my angle. So if I look at it, it goes back and it touches the picture plane at that point. So where it hits my picture plane, I can take that down, and now I have my distance going back there. So you can see as the object is moving back towards the spectator, you can see it's narrowing down. Same with the left hand side, the back left corner there, join back to my spectator, hits the picture plane here. So I can take that down there. Now for the height of the object, it's said in the question that the object is 45 mil tall, because we've only drawn our plan view, we don't need our elevation. So the only place we can get our true height is from any point touching the picture plane, and the only corner touching is A. So A is 45 mil tall, just like all the other points are, but the only place we can measure from is A, because it's the only point touching the picture plane. Hence why I now have 45 measured up from A. Once again, the top line goes back towards vanishing point 2. This point also goes back towards vanishing point 1. So I join that back there, and I join that back there. And now what I have is two of my sides. So I can start drawing them in heavy there. And this bottom one here. The next thing then, I noticed that these two lines are both parallel. They're both going back to VP1. So I can take this corner, which is this one here, join that back to VP1. And I notice as well that this corner goes back to this corner, going parallel with VP2. So I can take that point to there. Now that gives me the top outline. So I can go heavy back to here. I'm not going to go heavy there yet because I don't know where it's stopping along that line yet. Now the next thing I want to work out is this square here and that box there. So the first thing I would do as always is I would join that corner back to S, and where it hits the picture plane I can take it down. Now the problem with that is I don't know where to stop with it. It's somewhere within that box, but I don't know where to stop it. So what I can do is I can extend that line out to touch off that line there. I already have it in my perspective. So once again, by extending it out and pretend as if that point is out here instead, I join it back to S. I take it straight down where it hits the picture plane. It touches the line there. I know that line goes off to VP1. When I join that back to VP1, it crosses over my line here, giving me that point now. And there is the point I need. So I would have first of all joined that to my spectator, taken it down somewhere along that line. When I found that line in my perspective and joined it back, it crossed over it there. That line goes back to VP1, that line goes back to VP2. Now I can take it back this way and really have this one joining back here. So now I have that line there, which is this one. So all I need to do now is take these points down here to see where the box is going along that line. So the first one is between there and there. The next one is going to be between there and there. So all I'm basically doing is joining my points back to my spectator, and where they hit the picture plane, take them straight down. Now with these lines as well going this way, they're all going to VP2, they're all going out this way. So now I can join them back across to VP2. So I need to figure out where they stop along that line. And I know from my plan, they stop there. So same thing again. Join it back to my spectator. Where it hits the picture plane, take it down. And it hits the line at that point. And join that back there. I know this line goes off with VP1. I join to VP1 there, and it stops at that point, and it also stops at that point and that point. And because they're hollow, I can take the corners straight down to show that it's a cut surface. And the last thing I need to do now is get these 2 points. So same thing again, I already have that line, there it is there. I want to take it down to my spectator, and where it hits the picture plane, it gives me this point here. That point is on that line, which is going back to VP2. So save me taking that one down, I can just join it back like this. And where it crosses over, that line going back, I can stop it at there. And then fill in the last little bits here. I'll just zoom in there so you can see it. And that is then the object complete. So hope that video helps you.